Welcome back to the Ambition Over Fear portal. I'm Atlas Opia, and I help people expand their interdimensional knowledge. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing the idea of tranquility. As we're moving through life, we constantly have motives for the things we do and the things we want. And in order for us to continue forward in a manner that is more balanced and we can truly enjoy the journey and not only be focused on the destination, we have to understand what tranquility is and how it can apply to this human experience, and not only from the position of our higher self, but what happens when our interdimensional soul is now in a human experience, and how can we merge both worlds and pivot between our higher dimensional consciousness and our lower dimensional subconscious mind to truly give ourselves a beautiful, interesting, and mysterious story that we get to write and live out. And if you watch until the end of this video, you'll get some tips on how to do that. And also, if you've watched my videos before and you enjoy the content and how I explain it, definitely subscribe, share this to your friends, like, comment, let me know what's on your mind. All right, to get right into it, tranquility is the ability to feel a sense of acceptance in any situation, to feel a level of contentment and satisfaction no matter where we are at on our journey. So to get right into it goes step one. We as humans are programmed on some level to have all of our efforts be led by getting something. And this can be traced back to our ancestral DNA. If you look at cavemen and the beginning of the human race, there had to be a prize for the efforts we put towards. And the reason for that is because at that time we may not have had the consciousness to examine our situation from an outside point of view. So while we are in this situation of needing to physically survive, provide for the community, and protect those that are our family back in the caveman days, there has to be this wiring internally that can lead us into actions that will allow our race and our community to expand and survive. And those actions were go towards pleasure and avoid pain. Because during that time, the human race may not have been able to know the ability to analyze situations and really come to a conclusion about what's good or bad for themselves in a particular situation. So that moving towards pleasure is the way that that human being in the initial stages had the action and the thrust to avoid any animals or situations or food or ways of living that can harm their survival and the reproduction of their tribe. And one of the ways that the simple program of chasing pleasure and avoiding pain is continuing throughout our generation is because we may not have re-examined our human DNA. Because when we initially go through an awakening, we have a moment to come back down and look at the matrix and our body and examine what are the pre-existing conditions of consciousness that exist in our DNA, and how can we alter them based on the life we want to live. So the idea is moving beyond chasing pleasure and avoiding pain, and seeing everything as a unique expression of consciousness, where we're going beyond our identity, which may want the redemption of trying to summon a level of validation and success for all the times in life we haven't felt that because we judged those lows. The new state is realizing that the lows and highs are all different colors in a spectrum. Okay, now going into step 2 is realizing that even though we are beings of creation and we are an interdimensional soul in this hologram, so we can see the creative powers of our soul witnessed in third dimensional matter, that ultimately gives us this feeling and drive to create and expand, which is great. It gives our soul a feeling of, now I get to channel this powerful universal energy into this body so this person can create. But if we're solely focused on the destination and not the journey, what ends up happening is, if we look at it statistically, say the journey is 90% and the destination is 10%. If we're only satisfied and enjoy and allowing ourselves to feel our most potent emotions and frequencies and feelings of self-gratification during that 10%, then we're pretty much choosing to only enjoy 10% of our time on this planet. When in reality, if we can see the journey is this beautiful unraveling of our own story as we get to witness our shadow and light dancing together, if we can remain in this non-judgmental position and we can embody the higher self, we can see everything as, I am the creator, the soul, which contains the power and knowledge of the entire universe. And now I'm going to place my energy into a body, but I'm going to be the manifester and witness the manifested instead of being attached to only the manifested. So find ways where you can do things in the journey with more curiosity, passion, and where you can put more of your creative power into the tasks you do every day. And if you're in a position where you can't do that, now could be a calling for you to move into a timeline jump where you align with a pattern of energy that is more suited for your soul's expression. Now moving into step 3 is, a lot of times we can move through life unknowingly with this perfectionist persona, where we are always trying to be in a specific default state, because the times that were difficult may have brought us down so much that we may not have had a good relationship with our body or this third dimensional matrix. So instead of us understanding that is a beautiful aspect of how our interdimensional soul gets to experience Earth, is by being able to experience both sides of the spectrum and seeing a holistic view of what it is to be a human and appreciating that. We can move into a state where we're only chasing these ways of being based on our highest days, based on the days where we are feeling the least amount of worry, anxiety, the most amount of joy, empowerment, and that state of euphoria. Now, it's great to have those days or periods of life where we feel like we're really connected to the universe and we're not in a fight with this matrix, but we're really enjoying the hologram that we put ourselves into as a soul. Chasing that and trying to make every single period of our life or every day in comparison to the best periods of our life or the best days we've had is truly taking away the essence of those peaks and wanting to avoid any ups and downs in life, and really ignoring the dynamic nature of energy in this third dimensional matrix. So the default state is something we should not aim for. We should not always try to be in a certain state, because that is truly avoiding sitting still with our own energy and not being able to sit in spaces that truly make us feel like we're not growing or we're not moving forward, because that can come from a place of lack in your life where you felt like you have to nonstop go and do in order to escape where you were. There is periods of masculine energy and feminine energy, and oftentimes we gravitate towards one side based on what side we felt was most injured and expressing itself in a toxic way. So step 4 in understanding tranquility is, now that you realize there may have been this chase occurring in your life to always be growing, or to always be in this perfect state, or to always be in a position where you're wondering, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not in my highest vibrational state? What can I fix? What do I have to shift? What do I have to fight? If you look at yourself as a human and you examine your inner child, don't you deserve a moment where you're not trying in your being? Don't you deserve a section of your life where you're rewarding yourself for going through that highly intense period of growth, where you were initiating more masculine energy and implementing more action? The truth is, a lot of us feel like at times, possibly you too, that in order for us to be the best version of ourselves, we have to consistently grow. The truth is, always chasing something puts us in a feeling of frustration, lack, and unsatisfaction. And the reason we chase, really down to a core, is our human DNA has been programmed to go off of a risk-reward situation so we can expand as a collective back in the primitive days. But now we're less about reactionary existence, and we're more about examining and observing the reactionary existence, which is allowing you in this moment to feel like you don't have to worry about what you're going to do in the next hour. You don't have to worry about the next task. You don't need to feel consistently like you're not good enough. You can realize that there is no comparison of other humans, and on one level, everybody is doing exactly what they're choosing to do, consciously or unconsciously, and that is how there's an equal playing field in this perspective. So you don't need to feel better than other people to feel as if you're doing a good job on this planet. Sometimes we have that subconscious feeling as if we want to do better than who we were before. We want to do better than, the other places in the world. And sometimes spirituality, we can venture into a realm where we're really motivated by avoiding our pain and going into pleasure, so we get sucked into the love and light world, where we believe that the only purpose of this planet is to escape the body and the mind and the identity and be purely in the higher self. Then why did you place yourself as a soul in this body and this reincarnation and with a human mind? Just to leave it? That seems like a very irresponsible way to create, and very lack of resourcefulness. So the next time you think that you're just here to escape your mind and your body in the matrix, really ask yourself, is that something strategic that your soul, which is a collection of interdimensional knowledge and power, would do? No, because on some level there is a motivation to avoid pain and chase pleasure. The truth about tranquility is it can occur when you're accepting all the parts of your life and you're able to observe them from a neutral point of view. It can happen when you're less focused on, oh, this happened to me earlier on in my life, and because I'm not accepting it and I'm going to shame myself, I'm going to dedicate my future to making sure that I'm so far away from that version of myself that I don't even recognize myself anymore. There's nothing wrong with quantum jumping, but don't quantum jump because you're trying to redeem yourself. Quantum jump because you have an opportunity to create. Thank you guys for tuning in. I make videos every Tuesday and Thursday, and if you're really curious about the different realms that work together to make you exist right now, check out my other videos, subscribe, tune into these messages and channels, and let me know what you think by commenting below, and like and share if you really gained value from this video. And I want to let you guys know I also offer galactic quantum coaching to any person that has a potential of magic and mysticism within that is not being expressed in the mature form that you know you can embody. And the wall between those two states of existence really exist in not berating the mind, because the functionality it was programmed with when you came into this matrix was purely to keep you in a beginning to end experience on this planet. And what happens then is it starts to just fill in the blanks with your subconscious thoughts. Instead, understand the mind and reprogram the functionality, because you are in this reincarnation. You are pivoting from this point. So whatever galactic work you're doing or manifestations you have in place, these are all being activated by allowing the barrier that is your mind to be a tool so you can interact with the different reincarnations you have had on other planets from this body. And you can better understand alchemy too. Definitely let me know. Check out the bio if you're interested, and hope you guys have an amazing day. All right, bye.